Superfly 4, it's a very, very narrow fit. Narrow midfoot, and it becomes wide in the toe box. Wide-footed footballers out there, I don't suggest this boot is the best option for you. In saying that, I've got wide feet myself, but I still can fit the Mercurial Superfly 4.
So compared to the Superfly, the Pure Control is wider in the midfoot. However, it does have that compression wrap just to make sure there is a snug fit so both wide-footed players and narrow-footed players can wear the boot. And then into the toe box, and the Pure Control is much more normal compared to the Superfly where it becomes wide.
Sizing wise, the Mercurial Superfly is renowned for fitting half a size too long, so potentially go half a size down from your true size for a perfect fit.
With the Superfly fitting half a size long, the Pure Control is much more true to size.
Break-in wise, the Flyknit upper is very, very soft right out of the box. You won't have any problems there. The Superfly 4 uses a carbon fiber sole, which is stiffer than most nylon chassis used on Nike boots, so they might take a bit of work to fully break in.
The break-in time of the Pure Control compared to the Superfly will be an extra 1 or 2 sessions. The Superfly is quite easy to break in, however the Pure Control does have that slightly thicker upper and some interesting flex zones in the toe box, so will require those extra sessions just to become more flexible.
The Superfly 4 opts for a Flyknit and Nike Skin combined upper, which is very, very soft. It's not going to be as soft as the Teijin synthetic seen on the Mercurial Vapor 10, but it's very, very soft. It's one of the softest materials on the market. The Flyknit spans from the toes to the heel of the boot for a very seamless fit and feel.
Whilst the Pure Control does feature a synthetic upper just like the Superfly, it is different. It's a primed and vacuum skin.
The Superfly 4 has a dynamic fit collar, which is an extension of the Flyknit, which wraps the ankle for a sock-like fit and feel. It's really designed to enhance that lockdown playing experience in the midfoot and in the heel. In saying that, Cristiano Ronaldo opts for a collar which is cut just below the ankle, much like what you see out of the Pure Control's prime cut collar.
So matching the Superfly, the Pure Control does feature a collar. It's called a prime cut instead of that dynamic fit, and it is slightly lower than what you'll find on that dynamic fit collar.
When you're controlling, striking and touching the ball, the boots feel very, very soft, and it's an ultra thin upper. A thin suede lining really makes that barefoot feel experience much more exaggerated, and a dimpled in texture upper helps for control at high speeds. Overall, a very, very thin, soft and barefoot feel in the Superfly 4.
The Pure Control is actually quite similar to the Superfly in terms of feel of upper. It's soft, not as soft as the Superfly. It is slightly thicker, but it does give that padded feeling. There's a cushion feel within the boot as well, and on top of the primary upper there's a 3D texture which is quite similar to what you'll find on the Superfly.
One of the standout features to the Superfly 4 is of course those prominent and visible Brio cables, which merge with the laces on both sides of the boot to lock down your midfoot for enhanced responsiveness.
So with the Brio cables acting as one of the headline design features for the Superfly to enhance that responsive fit, the Pure Control does feature an external support system which is integrated within the Adidas 3 stripes. However, it won't be as responsive as what you'll find on the Superfly.
Again, enhancing that lockdown fit in the midfoot, you'll see a central lacing system used in the Superfly 4. Also seen on the Mercurial Vapor 10, you'll see an internal heel counter deployed on the Superfly 4. You will experience a little bit of heel slippage in the heel of the Mercurial Superfly 4 because you're not really completely locked down into the shoe.
So whereas the Superfly features that central lacing system, the Pure Control steals the headlines through no lacing system whatsoever. With the Superfly possessing an internal heel counter, the Pure Control opts for an external heel counter which flows into that sprint frame sole plate.
Weight-wise, the boot is going to weigh roughly 190 to 200 grams depending on the size you have, a decent weight for a boot that has a dynamic fit collar.
The weight of the Pure Control compared to the Superfly is noticeably heavier. It's 250 to 260 grams. However, on feet it doesn't feel too overly heavy. If you do want a boot that is slightly lighter, then opt for the Superfly.
So as I mentioned before, the Superfly 4 opts for a carbon fiber sole plate, which offers that snapback playing experience. So what I mean by that is the carbon fiber is a little bit more stiff than what you get out of the nylon chassis seen on other Nike models, and that offers that snapback, that aggressive acceleration, something you need as a winger and a striker.
So the Pure Control again features a very responsive sole plate just like the Superfly. However, it won't be as responsive as the carbon fiber. The Pure Control has a sprint frame sole plate with ground control 2.0 which features conical studs.
If we take things back a bit and talk about the colorway and design, it features a deep royal blue, racer blue, black metallic silver colorway. Very, very sharp looking on feet and in hand. I'm a big fan of the colorway.
The Pure Control here are shock blue, semi-solar slime and white, which is very similar to the CR7 Superfly here. They're natural diamond. Both boots look great. However, there are some slight differences, especially in that base coat of blue.
So one of the real bad things I've just noticed with this Superfly 4 Natural Diamond CR7 is that the blisters are unbelievable. I've got blisters on my heel here on both sides, just where that bubble is on the seam of the Dynamic Fit collar. It's actually quite bad straight out of the box, and it's definitely something you should think about when buying the Superfly 4. Maybe you could go for a Vapor 10, or maybe you could even cut the Superfly collar itself. But yeah, just something to look out for with the CR7 Natural Diamond Superfly.
So in terms of performance, the best things about the Superfly 4 is that it offers an aggressive lockdown in the midfoot. Breer cables, Flyknit upper and carbon fiber, as well as the Dynamic Fit collar, all work in sync to offer an aggressive lockdown in the midfoot. In terms of touch on the ball, you're going to have a very barefoot sort of second skin feel when you're controlling, passing and shooting the ball. A great thing to have in any football boot, and if that's something you prefer over a sort of leather cushion touch, good for you.
So with the Superfly offering responsive performances, the Pure Control offers more snug fit, cushion touch, ball manipulation and rotational traction. So it's more of an all-round boot, and obviously that's reflected by defenders, midfielders and goalkeepers all wearing the boot.
So the primary pros of the Superfly 4 is that it's lightweight, it offers a barefoot feel and it's very, very responsive. Three great things to have in any football boot. The major cons to the Superfly 4 is that the seam on the Dynamic Fit collar actually rubs on your Achilles tendon, causing blisters. I'm sure most of you out there who have worn a Obra or a Superfly has experienced blisters in the heel region. Low protection is another con to the Superfly 4. Of course, it's going to offer such a second skin barefoot feel to the ball, so protection is not the greatest in the Superfly 4. Someone like me who's got very, very wide feet wants a boot that's going to fit my width, and the Superfly 4 does fit me, but it's very, very tight in the midfoot. I wouldn't recommend this boot for anyone that's got wide feet.
So the biggest pros of the Pure Control is of course that clean and large striking surface, and also it's wide fitting. However, it does have a compressive wrap, so it is more universal. So just like the Superfly, there are some negatives. The Pure Control features some durability issues, especially to the sole plate. It does have that nice shimmer and shine to it to start off with, but that will flake off over time. There's a lack of responsiveness due to the external support structure on the outside of the boot, just on the lateral side, so you won't get that snug fit from both sides. And of course, because of that latest technology, there's a lack of adjustability, and the NSG on top of the boot, it's almost absent because it doesn't go outside of the boot, it goes inwards.
So what is our overall verdict on these two boots? The Mercurial Superfly 4 is much more responsive than the A16 Plus Pure Control based on the fact that it's got laces, it's got Breer cables, it's got carbon fiber, Flyknit and the Dynamic Fit collar. A very, very responsive boot, but the one thing I hated with the Superfly 4 is that I've got very, very wide feet and it's quite narrow. So if I had to choose between these two boots, I'd probably go for the A16 Plus Pure Control. It's not the most responsive boot out there, but it's going to suit my wide feet. What about you, Matt?
Well, I mean, it's a bit of an interesting one for me. I actually think that the Superfly is actually a better quality boot, and also it's a little bit more versatile. However, for my preference, I'd go for the Pure Control. I do like the cleaner striking surface across the boot, and it gives me a little bit more protection than the Superfly. I'm a centre half, so I probably wouldn't wear this boot for making tackles. It would give me a little bit more pain than what the Pure Control would. So although it's not as responsive as the Superfly, I would go for the Pure Control myself.
So that is our boot battle between the Mercurial Superfly 4 CR7 Natural Diamond and the Shock Blue A16 Plus Pure Control by Adidas Football. Which boot is your favourite, the Superfly or the A16 Plus Pure Control? Please vote in our poll card now with which boot you would choose. So that is our boot battle. Drop any comments in the section below. Thanks for watching, and as always,
see you next time. Oh my God. That would have been unsavable no matter who was in goal, even though we were standing outside.